Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Hey, Bob.
Hi, Joy. You tried to beat me.
I didn't just try. I won.
Ooh.
Winning is everything.
Winning is everything. And if you're in second place, you're the first place loser.
Tell it.
So we're talking about multiple things today, but we're gonna kick it off with talking about a happy face.
I was like, it's impossible to talk about it without getting like the meanest face possible, because it's like when people say, "Oh, you should be happy, smile," and it's like, you don't know me, for one.
Right.
Start there.
Right.
Secondly, I feel that being my own person and being grown, I could probably have whatever face I want to have. It's another thing. I have a whole list, so you just jump in at any time.
And thirdly, and genetically speaking, people are born with that face. Maybe they just don't naturally smile.
True.
I don't naturally smile.
You do not naturally smile, but you are naturally youthful, and I know that that's one of your secret weapons, is to not smile.
To not smile. I mean, you don't get those happy, stupid lines. And I have a magnificent smile, I have to say.
Right.
I actually do like my smile because it's big, it's full face, and I can talk about myself for hours and hours and hours.
He'll just talk about how he could light up a room if he wanted to, but he withholds
just turn it on. I just made the woman at CVS's day. I'm good at giving people laughter, but I like to not smile.
Right. It's very serious with you.
And it's genetics. My family is that way. Like, it doesn't look like anybody's happy in my family. We're all miserable.
I mean, should you be speaking for them? Do you want to say that?
They're all miserable, horrible people.
Wow.
Hi, love ya. No.
Hi, Bob's sister.
They've known me long enough to know that I am.
I won't name names to protect the innocent.
Hi, Aunt Sheila.
You do not have an Aunt Sheila.
Yeah, I do. We've talked about that. You have an Aunt Sheila, too.
I do.
We're not going to talk about that.
We are not going to talk about that.
All right. So, yeah. I get told to smile quite often, that I should smile more.
Yeah.
Why aren't you smiling? You sound like a happy person, but you're not smiling. Like, does that mean? I mean, I feel it's people who are uncomfortable.
It is. I was just going to say, this is the same kind of people who would have an extended conversation with you about the weather.
Right.
It's like, just know their choice. So I'm just going to throw something out that's completely inane, just has no point, and basically tell you about your life. We're not going to focus on me. We're going to focus on me telling you what you should do.
Because it's how they want you to look.
Exactly.
So.
Or I get it a lot too, because with the name of Joy.
Oh. What does that mean? What is the definition of joy?
Apparently a bitch who smiles all the time is the definition. I believe it's in the Webster's dictionary if you look it up. But yeah, seriously, it's like, when I have days where I'm just not smiling or I'm like in the zone or whatever, it's like, I mean, with a name like Joy, you can't be mad. Really? Where did they write that rule? I didn't sign that contract when I came out the womb.
No.
But
can I interject something here?
Absolutely.
Just because we're talking about our names and what they mean. So where I get the name, my spelling of my name is Bobble, which is was a French word, was an English word. But do you know what it actually means?
What does it actually mean?
Something that is superficially attractive but otherwise worthless.
Oh, wow. That's
And I always forget about that, because whenever I first started, using that as my name, like, I thought that was completely my internal dialogue. And so somebody asked me that yesterday, so that's why I wanted to bring it up. And since you were talking about your name, I can't go a minute without talking about myself.
Right. So you wouldn't talk about your name. I got it.
So I'm worthless. That's why I don't smile. Back to the topic.
Okay, it's no problem.
And guys tell women that a lot, though. I mean, I think actually, honestly, I know that men do it more for women, just because that's part of a man trying to have a woman the way they want all women to be. But women are the ones who say it to me the most.
Okay.
like, you look cute, and then they'll be like, oh, and you got dimples too.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I didn't want to smile.
But see, that makes a lot of sense because a man is going to comment in general on a woman, but not the other way around.
Not the other way around. Shout out to Czechoslovakia for no other reason than
that great voice.
If you're not listening to the actual radio show, we have an intro where people from around the world have given me intros for the radio show of listening to From Heartbreak to Hate. So a woman from Eastern European, we're saying Czechoslovakia, it has the best. It's the best one.
She was by far our favorite.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of miss the old full one because she pronounced the name of our town. Champagne.
And so, so you
love
don't
her.
get that anymore, but we loved her, and there was a couple others we
did
didn't
accent. We love a lot of countries, actually.
Yeah, the American ones were the ones that let us down.
They were. Don't even get me going on this, though.
American and Australian actually let me down on those, but I mean that's fine. They did it for pennies and coins and seeds. So anyway. They didn't do it with a smile on their face. I guarantee you that Gusto one was not smiling.
There was zero smile in that, but that's all right.
So you might not be able to tell by our show and just listening to our voices, but we don't smile all the time.
Not all the time, no.
How do you...
We're usually tricked into smiling. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that serious.
No, I think whenever we get to the point where we actually make ourselves laugh, we laugh and smile.
We do. We can laugh with each other. A lot of other people, not necessarily. It depends. I would say that, I mean, in general, the problem is we're split on this category.
Right.
Because I laugh more than you do.
She actually is a little more joy than what I
play on the radio.
Play on the radio. We all
Except
have
for
our
that's
parts.
also the truth.
Yes.
I mean, that's why I'm so good at my part is because it's not that far from the truth at all.
Right. So you're a little bit more into the light. I'm a little bit more into the dark. And so it's like cloak and dagger. If you haven't watched that show, watch it. It's amazing. Anyway.
Right. So you're saying the show. I would tell people to watch the cheesy.
You can watch the cheesy 80s movie too. It's pretty great. With Dabney Coleman.
Dabney Coleman. Yeah. Yes, I love it. Anyways, whatever happened to him. Okay, but I digress.
Digress.
No, I'm going to digress back. Wait, would that be regress? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
You're going to gress.
I'm going to gress. I'm going to gress back to... It's just like, just don't tell other people what to do.
No.
This is kind of an extension of our mind your business conversation.
Absolutely. Which most shows are, essentially.
They are, because we have similar themes. But the problem is that the word is not out there, and so we will keep talking until we make the changes.
Yeah.
Be the change that you want to see in the world, Bob. And that's what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Telling people to mind your own fucking business. Don't tell other people to smile.
Right.
Okay, just let them have resting bitch face if that's what they're proud of.
I don't care if people don't smile. Like, it doesn't affect me at any. Right. I don't like walking around like, oh, Joy's not smiling today, so she's obviously mad at me. Because you know why? I don't care.
Well, I know that to be true, but I would also say, it just comes down to you don't feel the need to tell other people what they should do,
no,
or how they should present in the world.
I mean,
period.
If you want to do anything, make sure the people are okay. But again, I guess mind your own business. It really doesn't matter. I mean, because you might be talking to someone who just recently lost a family member, or just recently lost a pet, or maybe just recently murdered somebody. And they don't want to talk about it, and they don't want to smile about it.
No, people don't want to talk about it.
And you know what happens when people tell people to smile, and they tell that to a person who just recently murdered somebody? They get murdered.
I was going to say that person gets murdered. I knew that was where we were going.
People who get in horror movies who don't mind their own business are the first ones to die.
So what we learned from horror movies then is mind your own business, but also be a virgin. Is that because that's like one of the essential rules?
That is one of those things. They changed that. Yeah. I mean, because it's with the times now, right?
Okay.
I mean...
So now you can be a great big old slut.
I think you can be a slut and still live.
Okay.
I mean, they have lots of shots now to take care of things. So I say the sluttier you are, as long as you're slutting yourself and...
Live your best life.
Live your best life.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to smile about it either.
No, because your best life may include frowns.
Or it may include that I'm currently thinking about something that's sort of important to me, and therefore I'm concentrating on things inside my head and not worrying about smiling as I'm handing you 3 fucking pennies to pay for something at the gas station. Okay, so next topic.
Yes.
There's this great Frightwig song. If you don't know the band Frightwig, check them out. But there's a great Frightwig song, which is on tonight's playlist. And it's called My Crotch Does Not Say Go.
Mm-hmm.
So, basically, like, just because we're talking, just because we're having a conversation doesn't mean we're fucking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we'd like to discuss that in an opposite direction, too. Just because we're fucking doesn't mean we're talking.
Doesn't mean we're talking. Doesn't mean we're friends.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's about not making assumptions, people. Because what's that old saying? That when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. But really just you.
Yeah.
I think they can stop the saying there.
And when you point a finger, there are 4 fingers pointing back at you.
Is it 4 or would it just be 3? Because your thumb's not pointing back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, but I have an extra finger.
Oh, I mean, I thought we discussed that you weren't going to tell people that.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Your secret's
And if you
out.
have 6 fingers out there, hey, that's cool, too. I know people with less.
It's a judgment-free space, clearly.
Absolutely.
But back to not assuming anything. Now, do you have anything to back this up? Like, what makes you feel so strongly that just because we're fucking doesn't mean that we're friends?
Oh, wow. I mean, I guess in today's society, it's okay. It's a little bit more clear and okay to have sex with people that's not in your life anytime other than the need for sex. That's okay, right?
Yeah, it's definitely becoming a lot
Like
more.
FWB, friends with benefits. Like, but I don't even need the F.
You just need the with benefits.
I don't even need the benefits. Just need it done.
Wow. Okay. But getting it done is the benefit, right?
I guess. I mean,
I feel like you just want to argue me on
I'm not
this.
arguing anything. I'm just saying that I don't feel that, like, I don't know.
But now it's becoming more acceptable for to be in a situation where you are just having sex with somebody but aren't friends.
Mm-hmm.
I would still say it's difficult within that dynamic of 2 people for both people to be on the same page of it. You know what I mean? There's usually one person who's
one
still
has
kinda,
feelings.
not necessarily even just feelings, but like, why can't we be friendly about it? You know, and I mean, I guess the true nature of it, I don't know. I don't want to say that every time because it's not always true. I was getting ready to say that the nature of being physical with somebody kind of causes there to be some connection, but that is actually not true as I roll back tape. But I don't know. I recant my statement that I was about to make, I guess.
I mean, we've had this discussion recently. So, I mean, it's completely possible in today's day and age to have sex with someone and not even know their name. And to have sex with them multiple times for an extended period of time and still never know their actual name.
And not be too bothered
Laughter.
and not be too bothered to find out.
No, and not even, I mean, at one point, there's no turning back, right? I mean, if you get, say, 2 or 3 months into it, you can't ask their name again, right?
I mean, I hear you. That would be very awkward. Then you have to do one of those childish things where you're like, so how is your name spelled? I need to.
I was going to write you a letter, but
I was going to put you in my phone, but I don't think I have it spelled right.
even though we don't even have each other's phone numbers. In the world of dating apps, this is possible.
Yes.
Dating apps and screen names. I don't know.
Dating apps screw up everything.
They don't, or they make it more anonymous, I guess.
Yeah.
But then there again, you don't have to be anything else to anybody else other than what you need. And people don't need to assume that they're going to have sex with you just because you're talking to them.
No, they do not. But that is something that I think that women have been trying to preach
Absolutely.
for decades.
Millennia.
Right. And now I think it's slowly getting to the place where more people are accepting that, but there's still a problem with that. Sometimes people still think.
No, I know people who are super like male feminist, but I've noticed that like whenever women like show any interest of conversation to them, that it's automatically like this person wants to have sex with me. So yeah, I feel even the most woke of motherfuckers can still fall back to that old motherfuckery way of thinking, oh, she wants to know about my middle name? She must what the fuck. So yeah, guys, I think, I don't know what it is. I mean, I think I know females who do the same thing. Like, if a guy says hi to them, they think that this guy is attracted to them.
Oh, yes.
And it's what I used to call, and I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound horrible, and everybody's going out there is going to say that I'm fat shaming people, but I want you all to know that I'm completely fat when I say this.
Okay.
And it has nothing to do with women because I think it's also on men, but I used to call it the fat girl syndrome, because anytime a man that is like a super attracted, I would see it like in high school, like if a super attracted person would like say hi to an overweight girl or an overweight guy, even in my case, it's like automatically like, oh my God, they love me.
Yes.
And I don't know if there's a technical syndrome or if it's some kind of psychology behind it, but
I was gonna say, I don't know that it's got a syndrome or anything that has a name, but there's definitely a psychology about it. And I think it's one of those things. Well, I guess speaking just as a woman, I won't make assumptions, but I will say that as a woman, we are more susceptible to that. I think it's like because of how a lot of us have been raised, right? You're raised with this idea to find the right one, and you're like, what if as soon as, because he knows who I am, then maybe I don't want to throw out the chance that he could be the one. You know what I mean? Like, so you just latch on to anybody, like, I'm just kind of going through the whole deck here, making sure I don't miss anybody.
Well, it's also
my chance.
I think it's also the psychology of an overweight person is that you're either it's very polarizing. If you've never been fat, then fuck you. But if you have, you know what I'm talking about. Like, you can be completely invisible to people, or be made fun of, and the completely made fun of in like a large group of people. So either you're in those polarizing points, your only attention is complete devoid of attention, or the worst kind of attention possible, which is bullying. So if someone's actually nice to you,
if they're normal, you're
like, is this what love feels like?
Yeah, exactly. You're like, does not compute.
Does not compute. You're not wait, you saw me, I'm not invisible to you, and then you're also not making fun of me and bringing your friends over to make fun of me. Like, I don't know. I felt that way, and I think it's now that I get to talk about it, I guess I'm talking through I stand by my initial fat girl syndrome, but I feel it's the same way for gays in small towns.
Okay.
Like, you don't have a large group of gay people to even gauge your life or choices on. Unfortunately, a lot of people now that are grown had Will and Grace, and I hate Will and Grace, and I'll have my own podcast and talk about for 35 minutes how I hate Will and Grace because of what it's done to gay people and gay men in the world. Anyway, if you have nothing, like no kind of connection with another person, and then the hot guy is nice to you. Yeah. It's like all those porn fantasies come true.
It is. Then you're just waiting for the next sentence and the next sentence.
Right, the next sentence to be like, do you want to go fuck?
Right. Because in your mind, that's what it's going to be. And meanwhile, it's more like, do you have a pen I could borrow?
Right.
Like, oh, that's it. He's really trying to figure out how to get up the nerve to tell me he loves me.
Yeah.
I know it.
But I think it's part of that. Like, just because people talk to you doesn't mean you're going to get anything from them. Just because we're talking doesn't mean we're friends.
No, we just show up at the same place at the same time every week. It doesn't mean,
Just because I understand what you're going through doesn't mean I care.
Yes.
You know?
But these are the kinds of truths that aren't polished and pretty, and I think that's why nobody talks about them.
Well, it's the truth of it all. Like, I don't know. I've talked about my limit to hearing people talk before. Like, people will talk to me, they'll tell me things and blah, 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 blah. And like, my brain starts processing what actually is important to me and what I can actually get from this conversation. Like, I start piecing things together, and people telling me just random things about things that are going on in their lives and blah, 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 and we're not really friends and things like that. I'm just like, I'm practicing on my sighing because my eye rolls don't work on the radio. I always think about Mennonites.
Okay.
And this
should be good.
So in a past life, or this life still, but in almost 30 years ago, I was a gas station attendant. Those things don't exist anymore. It's where you pump gas and you check people's oil and all that fun stuff. And I lived in a town which we had Mennonites that lived out in the country, and they were actually my neighbors, but still they would come in town and they would refuse like full service help. And then when I would like try to make conversation, like they would come and get propane tanks. It was always the women, and the women would just not even like acknowledge that I was speaking to them.
Okay.
Because it would be like, do you want me to put this in the back seat of your car? Do you want me to put it in the trunk? What about that? And they just like look at you. And so it's uncomfortable, but it's also cultural, right? So they just don't. I don't know if it's just that group of Mennonites, but that was what I always think about. Like, you know, you can definitely talk to somebody. They can exist. They're completely alive, but it doesn't mean you're going to get anything out of it.
Yeah, you're not owed anything. But maybe that's part of the problem is we feel that we're owed more things than we truly are. You know what I mean? Like, we feel like if I am speaking to you, I'm owed that you participate and you speak back, and then I feel that I'm owed that you say the things I want you to say that agree with what I'm saying. Like, it has so many layers.
Oh, yeah, and if you're fighting with somebody and they don't give it back to you, fuck that shit. You want it back.
But only so much, because you want to win. So
yeah, but then I feel it's worse if you fight with somebody and they have no throwback to you, because then your head for the next hour, you're like, if he would have just said this, or if she would have just said that, I would have fucking said this, and I would have this funny thing to say back to them that would completely like destroy their lives. I would like, throw their whole entire family into a blender and mix it up and toss it back into them and destroy their lives. Like,
I feel this turned into a therapy session all of a sudden. You have very specific things that you want back.
It's not specific. I'm just saying that you expect things back from people, and like even in more than just talking.
Yeah.
Like you expect a fight to be like tetherball. Like you're hitting it back and it's volleying back to you. Like you're getting those good white people games back and forth.
And it can be. I know what you're saying though. It's true. Even though I'm giving you a hard time, it's true that you want. Otherwise, it's just too easy if you're just able to take somebody down. They just lay down, roll over. You know what I mean? Like.
And I think it's cultural too. I mean, I feel like black women who fight don't want someone to talk back to them because they want to say everything.
Oh yeah. I say my thing. you don't get a turn, believe me. This is just me annihilating you and you standing witness to it. That's really what it is.
So yeah,
we're kind of the champions of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm jealous, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm kind of jealous of all that. I've been around that my entire life, and it's like I've never gotten the ability just to destroy someone's life.
Really, I would not say never. I mean, you're pretty damn good at it, and I'm sure there have been instances where somebody's just stood there and took it.
Oh yeah, cried.
Isn't that enough?
Tears are great.
Just because we're fighting doesn't mean you're crying.
Yeah.
Except when they are.
I do like that though. I don't know.
But I don't know. So going back to the original thing, which is my crotch doesn't say no, or what was it?
My crotch doesn't say go.
Doesn't say go. I'm sorry. I was going to mess it up. It just gets so much more twisted. So like what we have just covered is there's already so much expectation just around interaction with talking, let alone if you put fucking into the thing.
Absolutely.
When you put fucking into the equation, it's just like you just went into like fucking quantum mechanics or something, and like people can't, you know what I mean? Like it escalates, and it's all of a sudden like, well, that automatically means that we will follow this set of rules. Those barriers are breaking down.
Absolutely.
But.
So yeah, because the barriers aren't breaking down as soon as they should. Like I know lots of women who will kiss guys that they'll never see again.
Okay. Yeah.
Or kiss other women in front of guys. Because that fucks with men.
It does.
Automatically.
Oh.
Because they're automatically a lesbian. They're automatically in that porn with girls with so long nails. I don't understand lesbian nails. Vaginas and nails are things that don't go well together.
They don't.
But, that's speaking from a person who does not have a vagina.
I was going to say, how do you know that? But it's true.
Because I know that the anus and fingernails don't go well together either. So I would imagine vaginas are on the same point. Anyway, a little more sensitive. But anyway, yeah, so I know women who will talk to guys and flirt with guys and absolutely not intend to sleep with the guys, but the guys don't understand. That does not compute kind of thing.
Oh, no, it doesn't. I mean, it's to most men, we won't say all, but to 90%. It's
That's even gay. This is gay talk too. This is all men, unfortunately. It's the chromosome.
Yeah, it's like once you cross it's like you're crossing a certain street and you're like, oh no, you crossed onto this street. So that means we're automatically going to my house together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you cross Kissing Town, that means we're going to fucking town. You know what I mean? It's the whole thing. So.
Because there's nothing. The next step up from kissing is blowjobs, right?
Well, do we progress that fast?
I mean, that's what guys think.
Okay. But either way, and the other thing that I would say is like, so in the idea of people who have one night stands or who have some kind of benefit situation.
Or Sunday afternoon stands.
Exactly. It's usually thought that the woman is going to be the one who has all these feelings and the one who's like clinging and like, I love you. But
it's not
men
true.
are susceptible too. And that's like the secret that nobody tells you.
Right.
Is that they can also very much be like, how come I never hear from you? So.
Well, I think because whether or not they intend to fuck around with you again, I think men need someone to want them. So if it was a one night stand, they still want you to chase after them. They don't just go away. That doesn't go away in their head. They're still like, oh, this chick still wants me, and I gave it to her one night, man. Laid all that pipe down. It's like you give it 4 inches, fucker. Like, shut up.
Like I knew exactly what to do with this 4 inches, but no, then
toss it back. Anyway, if you can if you can bring yourself back to it.
Trying to bring myself back.
No, the male ego. We've talked about it before on the show. It's across all men genetically. Yeah. Like we're raised that way. We're raised to think that women want us. That a woman wants you no matter what. Like it's toxic. Yeah, it's all that toxic.
Combined with men are also raised to be winners. This idea that you have to win at all times. And I was going to say that to me, that's the other piece of, even if a guy is thinking in his mind, this is a one night stand and I don't want to have anything to do with her again, there's still that piece of them that's like, but I get to tell you no. You don't get to feel that way.
No.
I get to devastate you and then move on my merry way.
Absolutely. Because you are a woman and you want me because my 4 inches changed your life.
So drastically.
Pencil dick.
Oh, yes. I mean, there's nothing so good as a pencil dick, let me tell you. Yum.
And the woman is just so exhausted from all the acting that has to be put into that situation.
Wait, can I add a new sentence? Just because we're fucking doesn't mean I'm moaning, okay? I do not give out false praise. Do not.
Really?
I feel that encourages bad habits.
I feel that I have a fake one and a real one.
Okay.
I'm not going to give examples of it. That's what you're waiting for.
I didn't know there's going to be more expansion.
No moaning on this. Is a no moaning zone. Moan zone. I don't make you moan. You don't make me moan. That's the way our friendship works.
And remember that to be beautiful and natural is the birthright of every woman. And I wish you all loads and loads of loveliness and good luck.